and gentlemen, welcome to the vault and our guest chamber, I guess. So I'll try to keep this short. About 2 years ago when we founded the vault, we have two main objectives. One is to rescue this place, this establishment, which was used to be called Cigarro. We want to keep it. The second objective is to form a community for cigar lovers, and I think we, now that 2 years later, we have about 115 members. I think we have successfully achieved our goals. So thank you for all your support.
Yeah.
In terms of building a cigar community, we don't just want to be local-centric. We want to reach out to the world, to all the cigar lovers in the world. So our event subcommittee and everyone else worked very hard, and today we brought some people from afar to join us here today. So from Australia, we have Mr. Robert Ayala, and from the UK, Mr. Robert Fox, the co-founders of Bond Roberts, friends of Habanos, JJ Fox. Okay. We also have Oscar. Oscar is from Honduras. He is like a, how should we say it? He's like the plantation factory master, and he's also responsible for the cigars that you're smoking today. We also have, unfortunately, Hamlet went back. He was here earlier, the master roller from Cuba. For those of you who knew Dr. Neat, there's a famous story that happened in Cigar Divan, where, and since that particular incident...
That's the book you were reading yesterday.
Yes, he was coined the god of cigar, Insan, because a certain roller came to Hong Kong to demonstrate. There was a cracked old cigar. We were told it was Davidoff Dom Perignon. Last night Hamlet corrected us. It's actually a Danjo Estupendo. So they got the roller to, I think they use a Partagas Lusitano to rewrap it. And back in the days, they like to do blind tasting. So in come Dr. Neat. They gave him a cigar and say, "You are so good at blind tasting. Please try this cigar and tell us what it is." And he actually managed to tell this like Davidoff, but it has a Partagas flavor, blah blah blah. And at the end, and from that particular story, he was coined the god of the cigar. And turns out Hamlet was the guy who was actually rolling that cigar.
Verify the story.
Yes. And he was here early on, but he was feeling unwell. Hopefully not from the
smoke.
dinner. Yeah, the smoke. He said, "I got nicotine poison." Anyway, so he went back to his hotel. Unfortunately, he's not here. And finally, we also have Rafi, who is actually one of our own. He is from Hong Kong, currently living in Australia. But don't say anything bad in Cantonese behind his back, because Guangdong is better than some of us here. So without further ado, I'll just pass it on to the Roberts, and they can tell us about this excellent Petit 109.
Thank you so much. It's just a blessing to be here tonight. And yesterday we had a lovely dinner here last night. And thank you so much, Derek, and all the other ones, all the other team that were here. Bond Roberts, it's a sexy name, but if you go back from that, Bond Roberts is simply, it represents the friendship between two Roberts, the bond between two Roberts. Robert Fox and myself, we go back a long way in this industry. We're both Cuban cigar adorers. I hate the term aficionados, but we love Cuban cigars. We love Cuban cigars for the right reasons. And we had the opportunity 9 years ago to come up. We actually met in a bar in Hong Kong, in Shanghai, and we come up with the whole concept over lunch, long lunch, for Bond Roberts cigars, or Bond Roberts auctions. And we didn't realise that Bond Roberts auctions would be the largest auction house in the world today in terms of cigars. So that's one thing right in all these years, which is fantastic. I know a lot of you are massive supporters of Bond Roberts auctions, and thank you so much for that. then we got together 2 years ago, and we saw the sort of sliding door moments in the world of Cuban cigars. We looked at our resources, we looked at the connections that we had, the bonds that we formed with Oscar, the bonds that we formed with Hamlet Berettas. I've known Hamlet since he was 23 years of age, but he hasn't grown up at all in that period of time. The bond that I've got with Rob, the bond that I have with Ravi. So we have everything in terms of manufacturing, we have everything we have in terms of distribution, everything in terms of blending. And we thought there were so many people who are disenfranchised at this point in time. And I have a love of young people coming through my store. I have 25,000 clients, 25,000 members around the world. And I still remember the days where, when I started cigars, that you pick up a D4, you pick up a Ras, you pick up any other little Robusto or Petit Corona, and you're paying $12 for it, or $15.
Those were the days.
And what I detest at this point in time, what we all detest, is that young guys coming through now, or young women coming through to our stores, are having to, they're paying for their rent, they're saving for a house, they're doing this, and they've got to pay $60, $70 for a Cuban cigar, for a Robusto, a D4 to this point in time. I don't like it. We talked about it, and we thought, well, let's do something a little bit different. Let's blend cigars that Cuban cigar lovers will enjoy. And that's the journey that we've started, and we have a long-term plan for this, but we wanted to do it in our way. And our way is to do it with bonds, and bonds with people such as yourself. And so the Bond Roberts is not just between ourselves any longer. The Bond Roberts is the bonds that we have with the partners that we have and the people that we share it with, and that's the vision that we have for this business. And it's not a business, it's a love, and it's a journey.
We make a little bit of money along the way.
Go for it, Robbie, over to you.
No, I mean, Rob has kind of captured it all there. I really have very little to add. We felt that the existing producers, brand owners in Nicaragua, Dominican Republic, Honduras are aiming their cigars at the US market. And the US consumer has a very specific and particular taste. Well, so do our clients in London, and so do your clients in Hong Kong. These are very Cuban cigar centric markets. So we're making a cigar for you guys. If the American market likes it, that's great. But it's for our customers. And no one had done that really. They were all making cigars for a very specific market. We're making it for another very specific market, our customers. And our customers are the Cuban cigar lovers who are looking at the market now, wondering what it's going to be like in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months.
So what it's going to be like?
Well, we don't know.
Wow.
We don't know.
Haven't we come to Hong Kong at the
We
right
don't know.
time?
Contracts are in play. Contracts are in play. Everything is in play right now. Everything is moving.
Which is a really important thing. I mean, during the course of tonight, unfortunately Hamlet's not here, but should we wish to discussing about habanos or distribution or growing tobacco, etc., you have the opportunity to do so, and we're very straight shooters. In terms of this cigar, this is our Petit 109. So Petit 109, I was talking to the boys before, one of the reasons that we really enjoy Oscar's tobacco is that it's the closest tobacco that we've found to that magnificent Cuban tobacco, which is magnificent, let's face it, because it's slightly sweet and it's slightly creamy, and it gives you some complexity. And with Hamlet's blending, we can get some journey to the process. It's something that we love working with. And if you actually clip this off and you put, and we were just talking before, if you put an Array del Mundo Choice Supreme band on this, it's not too far different in terms of profile in that cigar. So we know we're on the right track. But this track has a long way to go, and we'll be calling upon yourselves for input in sizes and blends during the course of that process. We have the ability with Oscar, we have the ability with Hamlet, with Ravi, with yourself, Rob, to achieve those outcomes. We're excited about this, not just because of the long lunches that we go to in determining this whole process, which I think is one of the most enjoyable parts of this business. But yeah, it's very, very important.
It's all work.
That's for the tax office. But thank you again for just inviting us into your home. And this is your home, and you should be so proud of what you've achieved, because it's welcoming. You can feel the passion and the friendship, and that's what we're all about as well. Thank you so much.
Okay, so
Enjoy.
food, drinks, cigars.
Cheers.
Fantastic.
Cheers. Plenty of egg
Cheers.
here for everyone.
Well spoken,
All right, we can disperse into.
Well spoken.